Good evening, I'm Eugene Chan and welcome to Straight Talk. Our guest this evening is Brian Stevenson, a Vice President of the Hong Kong Sports Federation and Olympic Committee. Dr. Stevenson has an extensive background in accounting and business, and he has been a prominent figure in our sports community, serving in leadership roles with our rugby union and the Hong Kong Jockey Club. He has also been Olympic attaché and chef de mission for various international games. In recognition of his many services to the development and promotion of Hong Kong's charities and sports, Mr. Stevenson was awarded the Gold Bohemia Star in 2018. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you.
Brian, as you know, the 2024 Summer Olympics is starting in Paris in about 10 days' time.
Indeed.
And you're the chef de mission leading our team. And I believe this is our 33rd Olympic. So maybe we can start with a brief background of how Hong Kong has evolved in Olympics history.
Sure. Well, I think the first one we attended, if I remember, was 56 in Helsinki.
Right.
And of course, first time there, small delegation, only a handful of people. And then we've attended every Olympics since then, which is excellent, other than one, which was in 1980 and the Moscow Olympics. And that, of course, is where the Americans had objected to the Russian invasion of Afghanistan and called for a boycott.
Right.
And roughly, the Olympics world was split into two. And I reflected on that and I thought, now, wait a minute, that was 1980? Hello. We were part of United Kingdom vis-a-vis being a colony of United Kingdom.
Right.
And, of course, the British no doubt said, you'd better not go. We didn't. I think it'd be very much different today, but there we go.
Right. So what would be some of the differences between now and then? Because, as you said, we start with a very small delegation. In terms of, I mean, have we increased the number of qualifications as well as the actual delegation size? Because we know the whole team went not only with the sportsmen, but also with a lot of supporting officials.
Exactly. That's very important, the latter point there, just mentioned that very quickly. The supporting officials, that's all your medics, particularly the medical people and the people that help you recover after your competition, ready for the next one. The delegations have increased considerably. The current delegation will have 35 athletes, and we will have an overall delegation of just over 80. That is slightly smaller than, well, it's a good bit smaller than Tokyo, but there's specific reasons for that. And Tokyo was one of the larger ones, but the largest one, surprisingly, was London in 2012.
Right.
And I attended that one as attaché there. Yeah.
Right. When you're saying that we have 35, athletes competing this time, how many of them are actually first-timers to Olympics?
That's a great question, Eugene, and I'm very pleased to say 20 of them,
wow.
which is absolutely wonderful. And our youngest athlete is 17 years of age, a swimmer, and she will be competing in 2 events in Paris. Yeah.
Right. It's very encouraging with more than half the delegation actually first-comers. And given how we have done extremely well in the Tokyo Olympics just recently, so that means it really has pushed Hong Kong's athletes at a much higher level right now.
I agree, and I think that is clear from the results over the past few years, and particularly Tokyo. That was an incredible set of results.
Indeed.
We've won, if I recollect, 9 medals in total since we first became engaged in 1952. 6 of these medals were won in Tokyo.
Right.
And we go to Paris, and it's a great team. And the thing that I think is very impressive, that our medal winners in Paris, all of them, other than Sarah Lee, who retired, and unfortunately Grace, who I'm a great fan of Grace with her kata. Kata is not in the Paris Olympics. Right. But all other medal winners will be there.
Right. Are there any sport that Hong Kong has qualified for the first time in this 2024 Paris Olympics? There
is one, and that is Taekwondo.
Really?
First time ever, which is wonderful. Yeah. And again, obviously, first time ever, first time athlete as well.
Right. I mean, I'm sure many viewers like myself would have seen the coverage on the flag presentation ceremony. And can you share with our viewers what is your experience like being the head of the delegation?
My experience of being head of the delegation to date has been more on meeting the athletes, as many as I can, and getting myself prepared for Paris, because behind the scenes there is a lot of work, and that is getting done by my Olympic colleagues, and specifically my senior colleagues. A couple of them left. They will be in Paris today.
Right. I mean, is this your first time being the first chef de maison for a Hong Kong delegation?
No, it's not. I headed the Winter Games in Sapporo.
Right.
But this is the first time for a Summer Olympics, yes.
Do you feel much pressure on the performance?
Well, pressure is a very good question. Pressure of performance, I probably answered. Nobody's asked me that question specifically. The answer would be yes, but the pressure does not worry me at all. I've got great confidence in the athletes. I've got great confidence in their coaches. And as I mentioned, I mean, if you look at our leading athletes, they did very well in Tokyo. Since then, they've done remarkably well. We go to the games with 3 world champions,
right,
and they've maintained that level, which is very impressive. So, no, the pressure would be on them, but I am impressed personally. They have learned to handle pressure for some time now.
Right, and as you just mentioned that, I mean, in the last Olympics in Tokyo Summer Olympics, we had 1 gold, 2 silver, and 3 bronze medals, one of the best ones we ever done.
Yes.
I mean, it hasn't been a great number to many countries, but for a mere population of 7.5,
yes,
damn, I think we've done very well, don't we?
Outstanding. Tokyo was really outstanding. As we know, I mean, if we only won 3 medals before that, since we became involved in Helsinki, that just emphasised what a tremendous performance that was in Tokyo. Yes.
So as the title of the show of this evening goes, is it all about medals?
All about medals, I might not agree with that. I think it involves a lot more than that. Yes, medals, every athlete, every single one of them, all 35, will be aiming to win a medal. But at the same time, they will know their best performances. And from my perspective, and I believe the community's perspective, that's what we should be looking for, is that they turn in their best performance on the day. And they will know their times in competitive events, and that's what we look to. And good luck to them on that day. But for sure, each one of them, and particularly our leading athletes, will be aiming for medals. Right,
and also from the news, we read that the Hong Kong Jockey Club has been very generous, that we have a 20% increase in the prize money, saying that the cash incentives, say for a gold medal list, will be from 5 million to 6 million, and 3 million for silver and 1.5 for bronze. Would that be a very good incentive for the athletes, or would it, on the other hand, put too much pressure on the shoulders?
Well, no. I'll take the latter point first. Pressure on their shoulders? I don't think so.
Right.
These athletes are ready for pressure. They are used to pressure. But I think the question is a good one, because probably my jockey club colleagues or my former colleagues will disagree with me. But they won't disagree with me at all. I think what they're doing is wonderful, and it is a great recognition of the medalists, if they are medalists, when they come back to Hong Kong. And it's great that the community recognises them. So the work of the jockey club is excellent. Does the money alone be the thing that motivates the athletes? No. I don't think so.
Right.
Because these young people have been training for their particular sports, they have a passion for them, and they've been engaged for years, as have their coaches. But it's an excellent reward and recognition from the community.
Right, Brian, some have said that some of the athletes who are with the Hong Kong Institute of Sport are paid up to like $50,000 a month, and then they're saying that the government have invested like over 7.4 billion into our athletes. They said there should be some minimum performance expectations. What would you say to that?
I'm afraid when it comes to sports, I've been involved in a lot of sports myself. I don't think minimum expectations, obviously you expect everybody to do their best. They've got to get there fit, and they've got to perform to their best. And you know what their previous best was before that. But minimum expectations, very difficult from the viewpoint of sports. And you're seeing that every day if you watch your television and major sports.
I'm going to ask you one short comment. I mean, according to our world #1 fencer Vivian Gorman-Wei, one of our fellow outstanding young persons, she's only 80% fit after a knee injury, but she said that when you think about what a gold medal would mean to the people of Hong Kong, that give her the extra incentive for her to motivate to really train hard. What would be your quick comment to that?
I would totally agree with that, and I think that is Vivian speaking, and she is quite correct.
Right, okay, let's have a break now, but viewers, stay tuned. We will be right back. Thank you for staying with us on Straight Talk. Dr. Brian Stevenson, the chef de mission of our Hong Kong delegation to the Paris Olympic Games, is with us, talking about our athletes and whether winning medals is important. So, Brian, you said very very clearly that winning medals are not the only thing.
Correct.
As the chef de mission you'll be hoping for. And there have been a lot of talk about national pride in our city recently. And do you think winning medals in the Olympics will contribute to the sense of national pride and unity in Hong Kong?
I do. I absolutely do. And when I say, for sure I believe winning medals is important, but it is not the be-all and end-all by any stretch of the imagination. And let's not forget, in the Olympics, they say it is the competing that's important, not necessarily the winning. But when I say that to my athletes, particularly, I come from a rugby background, and I say, okay, boys, you go out there and do your best, and that's the main thing, competing. But I'll say, at the same time, I'll tell them, and we're there to win. Yeah.
And I'm sure one of my friends has said to me before the show, our friend Leslie, he said to me, it's very important that the journey of the athletes and also to be able to understand more of themselves and all of the sort of preparing themselves for more greater things to come in their life. So can you share some good stories with us that might have inspired the community through all these athletic activities?
Well, I totally agree with that. And when they go to the Olympic Games, they will be there with some of their great heroes and heroines. They'll have an opportunity to meet with them and interact with them, and that's great. And also, I think, from the viewpoint of Hong Kong, that is really super, because nowadays, of course, Hong Kong, we're under a bit of pressure regularly on geopolitical basis, and it's wonderful that we're there with a strong team and with good young people that can interact with other athletes in the world, and they will learn so much from that themselves.
Right, Brian, you said you've been in Hong Kong for decades. You know that Hong Kong has never been known to be a sporting city.
Yes, yes.
Compared to many other countries, but we've done extremely well, as we said earlier in the show. So, and especially after the last Olympics, we have done better. You said we have like 3 world records going into the Games. What would you say that has contributed to this?
Well, I've got no doubt about it. For many years now, I've been involved with sport, very luckily, since I first came to Hong Kong in the early 70s, administration of sport as well as playing. And definitely I've seen a change in Hong Kong from the viewpoint of the government. When I came from United Kingdom, from Scotland, when you're a young person at school, sport was part of your education. When I came to Hong Kong, without being rude, I don't think that was the case. And I can understand there was great emphasis on the educational side, the pressure on the children to do well in exams. But sport can add so much to a person's character and development as well. And I think I've seen a great change in that, and the government, I think, has made major moves over the years, and these are very good moves. And of course, together with, we're very fortunate, we've got something like the Jockey Club, and it was the Jockey Club, if I recollect, that initiated and built the sport. Well, I say initiated, initiation will go to the government, but the building went to the Jockey Club of the Sports Institute. That's made a huge difference, and so has the government's contributions and their investment in sport, particularly over the last few years. I think they recognise the importance of investment in sport and in the development of young people.
Right. I remember when Tricia Leahy was here last year, when he talked about from the perspective from the Institute of Sport, she said to me that the amount of investment, I mean, not only for physical, the actual, the place itself, and also you have sports psychology.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of good physiotherapists. I mean, there are many ways of supporting an athlete. That's very important.
Absolutely. And Eugene, a visit, the other day, we took a group of school children and primary and secondary around the Sports Institute, and they met some of the athletes. I've been there several times, obviously. And when you see the training that goes on, and as you say, what's behind it, with all the analysis of performance, together with recovery processes, there's an awful lot goes on there, huge support, and the athletes know that and appreciate it.
Right. So what would you say will be the biggest challenge for athletes nowadays to sort of prepare and compete for these coming Olympics?
I think a very interesting question, and I've been following what some of the athletes have been saying in the papers, particularly our leading athletes, and it's very interesting. I completely understand when they say, are they thinking of medals? Of course they are, but they are saying they're thinking of their next competition. They have to get through the first round to get to the second, and so on until you get to the final. So there's so much more to it, but it's more preparing yourself to be calm and be able to take the stress at the closer you get to that medal position, and when you're in that final race. That's a tremendous ability if you have that.
Right, and also I'm going to congratulate you because you won't be having a very warm Olympics, because I know that the government has prepared 45 portable air conditioners to the games, because there isn't air conditioner in the village. Yeah. Is that something that common, that they don't have air conditioners?
Oh, absolutely. But les Français, they are innovative, and they said this is environmentally friendly, as does, of course, or did most of the allies of France. But at the same time, they said, well, but actually we're going to bring our own air conditioning. Well, we are too. And obviously, summer in Paris can be exceptionally hot. Indeed. You have to be prepared for that. And that's no offence to the environment, but this is once every 4 years. And I do believe the French actually recently, I'm quite surprised, I think there's 5,000 rooms or whatever it is, and they're going to put in air conditioners in 2,500. Now, they themselves, the French, not just for themselves, for the Olympics. How you choose the 2,500 from the 5, I have no idea. But anyway, we've addressed that problem.
Right, and I know that the Sports Federation and the Olympic Committee have also been thinking about all of us in Hong Kong. While you guys are fighting for us in Paris, you have been trying to install a game-themed installation at Theme Park at MOT, including the Paris mascot. Yes. And also there will be a lot of, the government has secured the broadcasting right for the Paris Games. We have designated venues across 18 districts for Olympic life zones and all major malls with various events. So do you anticipate the whole community will be fully backing the team this time?
Well, personally, I sincerely hope so, and I do believe that will happen. And I've got to thank, yes, you mentioned the SFOC, the work we've been doing, but at the same time, I've got to thank the government. I think that was an excellent idea when they decided to purchase the rights for television, and everybody can see it, not just the Hong Kong competitors, but also the games themselves. And you've got these sites all over the city now they're organising with major screens, and I would encourage everybody to go out and watch, and I'm sure they would, because I think Hong Kong people will support their team and the games as well.
Right. However, due to the time zone, that some people said, and he said one of our good friend, that chairman of the Retail Management Association, saying that because all the games could be late at night, and then they could cause the community to wake up later, that may affect the daily retail. How will you say to that?
What I say to that? Okay, I will say to the gentleman from the retail, yes, you may be correct, but if you are correct, then it's only for 2 weeks, and it's once every 4 years, and everybody will be in a better mood when they come to your retail store.
Right. So let's look at something from now. We're certainly waiting for some great results. No matter how many medals, I'm sure the viewers and me will be fully supporting your work. So what will be your long-term goal from your perspective for the future Olympic Games for Hong Kong team?
Well, I would anticipate the government definitely are behind sport, more so than they were before, and that's not being rude about what they were before, but it has been developing as the interest has in sport. I would anticipate that will continue, and also my hope would be that the community itself might become more active in sport, and I mean everybody, not just the young people. The emphasis, quite rightly, a lot of emphasis on the young people, but the elderly as well, because I think the more you get into sport, and by sport, it can be really simple, walking. Stay healthy, get out there, do exercise, and in doing that, you're doing yourself a favour, and also you're doing the community a favour, then hopefully you'll have less visits to the doctors and the hospitals as well.
Right. As we said earlier, some of our athletes have been getting outstanding results. over half of the delegates are first-timers. That shows a lot of coming out from results from the government and as well people like yourself and all the leaders. Is it the right timing to ask the government for even more resources?
Well, remember I'm an accountant, Eugene. So I have to say I've got a degree of sympathy with Paul Chan because our budgets are very, very challenged nowadays.
Right.
But what I would say to him is we are on a path. The government's on a path to support sport. It should continue to do that to the best of its ability. And ideally, obviously, I would anticipate no cutting of budgets, but rather modest increases.
Right. One quick comment from me. What advice would you give to our young athletes in Hong Kong?
Advice I would give you, if you have a passion for sport, you love sports, go for it. That is your dream, go for it. When I was young, no possibility of me becoming a sportsman. I had to study and become a business person. You can become a sports person and have a wonderful career.
Right, unfortunately, that's all the time we have. So, Brian, thank you for sharing your insights with us this evening. Whilst medals are a significant achievement, the Olympic spirit encompasses so much more: personal growth, sportsmanship, and national pride. As we look forward to the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, we wish you and the entire Hong Kong delegation the very best. Have a good evening and see you next week.